So one more time, you should have this out. Some of you weren't here. Some of you absolutely need the reminder. But we were in Unit 2, Scale Drawings, Day 2. Everything about yesterday was based off of one question. What was the one question from yesterday, Aubrey?
How do we find scale factor?
Good. How do we find scale factor? If you do not know how to find scale factor, you are in trouble for the rest of the lesson, not just today, but for the rest of the unit. To find scale factor will be equal to what? What does scale factor have to be equal to? Izzy?
Image divided by pre-image.
Good. Image over pre-image. And I love what Izzy said there, that we have to divide, because some students have been very confused. I don't know why. So it's image divided by pre-image. And just like we did just now, we simplified fractions. So simplify your, and we're going to say ratio, because our scale factor has to be a ratio. Okay, everybody with me so far? Again, we did this yesterday. Wouldn't hurt if you copied it down again, because it'll just drill it into your head. So the key again is image over pre-image. That is not often how you see it. So let's start, instead of finding the scale factor, let me give you the scale factor first. So we have the pre-image, and it's this F. And it is 10, 10, bless you, and 8. Okay? And we're going to make it a little bit tricky. We're going to go to image number 1, and the scale factor, which I'm going to abbreviate as SF, is going to be equal to 1/4. Okay? So first off, you should know immediately, is that F going to get bigger or smaller based off of that scale factor? What do we think is going to happen? Is it going to be an enlargement or a reduction, and why? Ryan?
Reduction.
Why is it going to be a reduction?
Because 1/4 is less than 1.
Very good. It will be a reduction because my scale factor is less than 1. So how do I find the new measurements of F? Well, I'm going to take 10 times 1/4. I'm going to take 10 times 1/4. I'm going to take 8 times 1/4. So 10 times 1/4. This is what we did on the warm-up. We multiply across. Gives me 10/4. Can I leave it like that? No. I have to simplify. Divide by 2. That gives me 5/2. So this length here is 5/2. This length here is 5/2. Now we also have to do 8 times 1/4. So that's 8 over 1. That gives me 8 over 4. Divided by 2. That gives me 4 over 2. Divide by 2 gives me 2 over 1. So this length is 2. Yes, sir?
Is it possible to find like the image or the pre-image with the scale factor? Like if you only had image and scale factor and yet pre-image?
Yes, we're going to get to that next week.
Alright.
Yeah. All right, good question. Questions on how I go from the pre-image to the image if I have the scale factor. We're going to multiply. Doesn't matter what it is, we're going to multiply. In this case, it was a fraction. We multiplied by fractions. But the key for today is finding the scale factor. So here is my starting. I have this pre-image, which is going to be 20 and 30. Here's my image. And I've got 8 and 12. The question is, what is the scale factor. I don't know what that is. That's supposed to be an equal sign. Shh. There you go. The question mark. So how are we going to find the scale factor? Again, it's image divided by preimage. Some of you might need this help. We are looking for corresponding sides. So Noah, choose any number from the preimage or the image.
20.
20. So I'm going to circle the 20 on my preimage. What number corresponds with the 20, Blaze?
8.
The 8. This is the smaller number on the preimage. 8's the smaller number on the image. So I'm going to circle both of those. Okay, those are now the two numbers that have to be together. If I box this 12, what number corresponds, Nevaeh?
30.
30. Questions there? Still pretty easy, right? So now it's all about finding the scale factor. So Brooklyn, give me a fraction that I'm going to need to set up. So what fraction am I going to set up to find the scale factor? So we want to go image over preimage. Okay, so listen to what Brooklyn said. She said 20 over 8. That is the most common mistake. We read from left to right, right? We want to put it from left to right, and we usually put this on top. But what does the formula say? And Brooklyn just went, oh! You have to have image divided by preimage. Always. It's image divided by preimage. So Brooklyn, you want to change it? 8 over 20. So now we're going to start to simplify to see what the scale factor is. But before we even do that, here's my question. Mr. Durden, is this an enlargement or a reduction, and why? Yeah, it's a reduction because from the preimage to the image, it's smaller, which means my scale factor has to be less than 1. So here I'm going to divide. I know 4 goes into both. That gives me 2/5. Can I simplify anything else with 2/5? No. Simplifying fractions is crucial. You need to know how to do that. Addie, can I just stop there and say that's my scale factor, I'm positive?
No.
What else should I check for?
Make sure that's the right answer for both of them.
Oh, for the both of them. So what else do I have to do?
Divide 12 by 30.
Yeah, so now it's going to be 12 over 30. Image over preimage. They're both even. So if you look at this and say, man, I don't really know what goes into it. If they're both even, we can divide by 2. That gives me 6/15. Not both even, but we know 3 goes into both. Still with me? That gives me 2/5. Oh-ho! Scale factor, they're the same. So now I can say my scale factor is 2/5. What does that actually tell me? That this is a working dilation. Questions on this? Okay.